half of it on a very, very, very large screen TV.
4K?
The 4K, 4K and the surround sound system, and I need for like a movie experience, and then the other half to pay for being movies.
I would probably spend it on like movie tickets, going to like deluxe movie, my popcorn.
Probably buy a PS4 and an Xbox One and a whole set of games to go with it.
Buy like a Canon 5D Mark II.
I want first roll concert tickets.
Subscribe to Spotify, get lots of music. $1,000 on a projector, $500 for some lazy boy chairs, another $500 for a really good projection screen, surround sound.
Like a really big TV, and then, but maybe not pay-per-view, probably just more like subscription service.
But would you like to see us, for home viewing, spend more time on things that you do during the movie, things like pop-ups or maybe social activities you do while the movie's playing, or stuff like after the movie's over, you go back and watch more content or learn more about the universe or the backstory?
Do it after the movie.
Definitely after.
When I want to do it while the movie's playing, it just kind of ruins its feeling.
A more intense show, I will second screen. Typically, like comedies, I'll almost always be second screening for things like dramas or things like where it requires more of my attention. Like you can't really second screen while you're watching an episode of Sherlock.
Like for American Idol and stuff like that, I think it's pretty cool, but sometimes I think maybe it's pushed too hard. I think there are a lot of shows where it doesn't really
I
fit.
personally love bonus content. I buy my DVDs, make sure they have the extra hours. I love to hear background.
I completely agree, and I love stuff like that, and I like commentary tracks
I
and
love
stuff.
commentary.
And
On Disney Channel, I remember High School Musical, it had all the pop-ups come out the second time. And I remember thinking it was really cool, but only because I'd seen it so many times and I already knew what was going on. And so when they popped up, I was like, oh, this is something new. So I definitely will want to watch this version of the movie just because I get
when
to
Lost
know
was
it.
running, the Lost Experience, if you know what that was, and I participated in the Why So Serious campaign when the Dark Knight was coming out. I love stuff like that where you're like interacting online, either with real people or ideas or whatever.
And I went to a screening it was like Disney did some promotion for it, and we were asked to actually bring in our iPads, and we had to download a specific app.
It's like gameplay?
Yeah, it was like a gameplay. So like, then this pops up, push this button,
Yeah.
and it was like really cool for the first 20 minutes.
I just feel like we're kind of like different generations too, just because when we were growing up, like when we were kids, we watched the movie, we didn't have like the iPad and stuff to like distract us, so we kind of had to. So I feel like we're kind of used to that now. But like little kids like have all this new technology that they're working with, so I feel like maybe they might want interactive content with the movie, but like while they're watching it on like their iPad and stuff. Like,
I would say I'm definitely a poster. I'm primarily on Pinterest, but it's there are tons of movie clips that get shared all the time, images and
So if it was easy to find and share those.
yeah,
clips,
I do it. I'll be on IMDb and I'll see a new trailer and I'll be like, oh, people would really like
How
that.
many buy discs and collect discs? Yeah. And how many buy digital?
How's the Bible?
So both, not exclusively.
Not exclusive.
Show of hands. Show of hands. Sort of. One.
One person? Three people heard of
But
it.
you don't know what it is really. Though.
Not really.
And how many have heard of digital HD? Do you know what it is?
I'm sorry, how many people say drive? And how many people say cloud?
Say both. Personally.
Would any of you be interested in an application that could help you find a movie to watch by letting you choose from various categories? Themes, directors, settings, time periods, and if you could just select those, then it surfaces a bunch of things.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what I use Genie for.
We actually had Michael Gill on Trojan Vision, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, and we were actually talking about like how long it takes people to watch the second season, and a lot of people said that they watched it like in 1 weekend.
Do you choose what to watch based on how much time you've got, or does it matter?
Yes.
Definitely.
Personally, I'll choose something if it's on Netflix. It'll be my short lunch break TV because I can just pause it and I know I can come back to it. Versus if I'm catching up on The Walking Dead from this past Sunday, if I have a whole hour, I will watch all the commercials and everything.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite things about like the TED Talks.
Yeah.
You can filter, like I want something that's 5 minutes and it's inspirational. or something, or like 5 minutes or 20 minutes and funny. So
Like, I don't like spoilers, but I do want to know if other people who maybe have liked movies that I liked, if they liked that movie. I think that influences a lot of, you know, like Drive.
So when a friend says, you gotta go see this, but I'm not gonna tell you what happens. That,
Yeah, I think that's like better.
yeah, I've watched on my tablet, and sometimes you don't want that HD because I don't want to see when when Scarlett Johansson has a movie.
No,
It's a
but
bit
does
much.
anyone else use the tablet for
I
movies?
used to.
I have.
Sometimes?
Yeah.
Or is anyone interested in higher than HD quality?
What is?
Are you talking about like how the like surround sound or how intense
Like
it is?
holograms?
Actually, yes. Like how HD, like, because I think I set the limit at 1080p.
Audio, yes, because I like music a lot, so it means a lot to me. So if we could have like the stereo and everything and put in a movie in my house and have the experience in rumbling, yes.
Have any of you heard of 4K?
Yeah.
I think that stuff's really cool. I play a lot of video games, so there's the Oculus Rift
Yeah,
thing,
yeah, yeah.
which I've
Imagine
actually,
that out there.
yeah, I've been fortunate enough to be able to play with it before,
Yeah.
and I think it's really cool. But unfortunately, it makes me extremely motion sick.
Yeah.
So I don't know how excited I am at the moment for virtual reality.
It's a different that interaction, like the social interaction. For like movies, I don't like watching movies alone, but TV shows I'll binge watch alone. So I would do that more for like television,
How do you learn about what's going on in the world? What are your news sources?
Twitter.
Facebook.
Huffington Post.
Huffington Post, Clipboard.
Okay.
Does anybody watch news on TV? Anybody have, maybe you've never heard of it, anybody have it, or get the newspaper?
Well, online.
No, print
Oh.
newspaper?
I get the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah. What about
Physically?
radio?
Yes, I physically
You
get
want to
it.
listen to the radio?
When I'm driving.
Driving?
Yeah.
I find it kind of distressing, but at the same time, it's like, what can I do about it? And I've enabled as many like privacy settings as I can for Google, but you can't like opt out entirely, which I find somewhat distressing. Because like, well, they can like give you suggestions based on where you are physically in the park, which is like both cool and kind of weird. It'll be like, hey, something cool is happening in your area. You should do it. You should go do it. Like that's cool, but I think it's also different at like Disneyland because it's like it's private property and you're kind of expecting that kind of personalized special experience. But like if I'm just shopping online for clothes, I don't really want that. So like it's a very different scenario.
The cars are adding Facebook, like right on your dashboard. You just shouldn't be doing that.
It's Audi and BMW, I think, that are like these. Now they have dashboard screens on like the windshield, and it's actually not that distracting. You think it would be, but it's actually not that big.
I think anything radio related is totally fine, but like anything more like Facebook, like.
What if it was voice transcribed and you could do
And then it's
voice?
just not the same experience.
Yeah.
How is that different
Yeah.
from having a passenger in the car?
So then you have a second pair of eyes to say, oh look, there's a tree.